Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Scale Modeling with Mike Ashey. Today we're going to do something just a little bit different. I found these model kits on eBay years and years ago, and they were made by Life Like Model Company and Pro Model Company. Whether you get a box that has Pro on it or a box that says Life Like on it, it's the same kit. They produced 6 of these kits, and I got to tell you, the engineering on them is really phenomenal for the time that they were done. Even the fabric on the wings is very well done. I've built 2 of them, the Bristol Boxkite and the Avro Biplane. I don't have a box of the Avro Biplane, but again, you can find these kits on eBay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the parts on each one of these kits, and then we'll do some close-ups of these 2 kits to see how well they can be built, and we'll talk about it on the backside. So let's get started.
The Life Like 1911 Bristol Boxkite is a fairly large 1/48 scale model. This kit has more parts than any other of the 1/48 scale early flying machine kits. A close-up of the individual trees shows some really nice detailing. The large open frame fuselage is fairly sturdy once rigging is added, and there are mold seams to remove on just about every part. The fabric detail on the wing surfaces is very nicely done. And of course, there is some plastic mold flash that needs to be removed, but it's mostly on the trees. The radial engine has some really nice surface detail, and the wing struts will need to have some careful cleanup work done to them after they're removed from the tree parts. The Pro 1/48 scale 1911 Dujardin monoplane has some really nice box art. The Dujardin is a fairly simple kit to build and rig, and it has almost no plastic flash. The fuselage is in upper and lower sections, and there are some small mold punch-outs on some of the surfaces, but they're easy to fix. The kit's radial engine is the same one that's used in the Life Like Bristol Boxkite kit. And lastly, here again, the fabric detail on the wing surfaces is very nicely done. The Pro 1/48 scale 1911 Martin-Handasyde has nice box art too. It has a few more parts than a 1911 Dujardin, but it's still a fairly easy kit to build and rig. The fuselage is split between the lower area and the flat upper surface, and the engine detail is nicely done. And the rudder and elevator control horns are also well done, and they're in the correct locations. Here again, the fabric detail on the wing surfaces is excellent. All these early flying machine kits have solid spoke wheels, and these can be replaced with Gas Patch Models 1/48 scale 3D printed spoke wheels. The 1/48 scale 1911 Avro triplane is the most complicated to rig due to the small spacing between the wings. The kit's parts count is about the same as for the Bristol Boxkite. This kit is made from white plastic, so the surface detail is going to be a bit hard to see. The open framing on the back of the fuselage will be a bit of a challenge to rig. Considering the age of this kit, it has some really good surface detail, and the parts are almost completely flash-free. The control horns for this kit are also very nicely done. The Pro 1/48 scale 1910 Blierot monoplane is yet another example of their nice box art. Just like the other monoplane kits, this one also has a low parts count. The engine is nicely done, and the fuselage framing is petite but strong. The fabric detail on the surfaces of the wings is very nicely done, and the parts have almost no excess flash. And finally, the rear fuselage framing is made up of several pieces. Here is my completed Bristol Boxkite. and I used tester enamel paints throughout the bill for this model. I used my sewing technique to add the rigging to this model, and I used nylon sewing thread inked with an indelible marker for all my rigging needs. The rear fuselage control surfaces are made up of several pieces for this kit. I decided to add some color to my Avro Biplane build. And this model builds up to a nice looking early flying machine. Had the gas patch model's 3D printed spoke wheels been available when I built these kits, I would have used them to greatly enhance their appearance. The control rigging for the elevator and the rudder add a lot of character to the appearance of this finished model. Here again, I used my sewing technique to rig the model. This technique is demonstrated step by step in my new book titled Detailing Scale Model Aircraft 2nd Edition, which is available on our website or on eBay.
Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed today's presentation. These old kits are just absolutely fabulous. And in the 1960s, there was a movie that came out called Those Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines. These kits came out after that movie was made. And all of these models were featured in the movie. They actually made these actual aircraft for the movie. So if you want good reference documentation on the rigging, watch the movie. With that, we hope you'll visit us at www.mikeashey.com. Have a great day and be safe.